Food prices are expected to increase this year. So, where will Canadians feel the biggest pinch, and what else can we expect? Sylvain Charlebois is the director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University and joins us to discuss what he sees happening this year. Good morning to you, Sylvain.
Good morning and Happy New Year, Rosie.
Happy New Year to you too. Okay, so let's start with food prices. Where do you see the price of meat and produce heading this year?
Meat prices have been painful in the last 12 to 18 months. And unfortunately, that's not going to change in 2026. Starting with beef, beef prices have gone up 20 to 25% in 2025. We're expecting some cuts to increase even more in 2026, which will actually push a lot of people towards chicken and pork. But guess what, Rosie? Both chicken and pork are more expensive because demand is up, and our chicken farmers are having a hard time keeping up with demand because there's a lot of pivoting going on at the meat counter. So I don't think that meat is going to get cheaper in 2026. And it's the same story at the center of the store. The pantry goods, the things that we buy on a regular basis, like dry pasta, sauces, nuts, coffee, all those things at the center of the store, we're expecting increases of anywhere between 5 to 7% in 2026.
Okay, so yes, there's increases of meat and produce at the grocery stores, but still Canadians are spending more for those groceries. Do you see restaurants feeling the pinch?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we're expecting menu prices to increase by 4 to 6%. And the bad news for restaurants is that we're expecting many closures. So we are expecting some openings, but openings are going to be outpaced by closures. Up to 4,000 across the country. And even in your region, in the Ottawa region, we're already seeing some closures. So because restaurant operators have to increase menu prices because of input costs, labor costs are going up as well. And people are drinking less alcohol. And for alcohol, margins are very high. So to make money, you have to sell, more food at a higher price. So we are expecting some restaurants to close, unfortunately, and a lot more people will be spending more retail versus service in 2026.
Okay, that would be unfortunate if you do see a lot of those local restaurants closing, but it looks like that's where the numbers are headed. Okay, so there's so much talk about how artificial intelligence is taking over industries. Where do you see AI in the food space this year? I can hear your phone ringing, but I think you can just ignore it, right?
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
I didn't know you were hearing it. But with AI, it's been interesting because AI has been around for many years in the food space, but mostly on the supply side of things, making food supply chains more efficient, reducing waste, basically making more companies better planners. But the reality for 2026, what we're expecting in 2026 is to see more companies using algorithms, our data, to predict and use more dynamic pricing depending of how demand shifts from one category to another, from one product to another. So we are expecting more dynamic pricing in retail once in a while, and that's all about AI for sure.
Okay, you can get to that phone call in just a minute. I have one more question for you. The U.S. recently made changes to their food guide, which encourages Americans to eat less processed foods and added sugars, and to eat more protein. How should Canadians feel about the guideline? I'm really interested to hearing your take on this.
It's it was a bit of a surprising announcement coming out of Washington this week because they basically literally reversed the food pyramid that they had. So they're going back to basics. And what I think the MAHA movement is doing, the Make America Healthy Again movement, I think they're aiming at ingredients. They're trying to get rid of additives, and they've made sugar and sodium their enemies essentially. And so processing is kind of out, and they're basically Washington is encouraging Americans to eat meat, vegetables, the basics essentially. And but it's all about dairy and meat, unlike our food guide, which was introduced 7 years ago already. And so 7 years ago, we got a new food guide in Canada encouraging people to eat more plant-based products, vegetable proteins. That's not what we're hearing from Washington. So I'm going to be curious to see more from Health Canada, how they could revise the Canadian Food Guide in light of what's been happening in the U.S.
Sylvain Charlebois, Director of Agri-Food Analytics. It's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care. Bye-bye.